I support our partners like QuadBridge to help them bring the solutions to you. Today, they've asked me to do a presentation on the future of connectivity, basically around 5G and a new technology called Wi-Fi 6. How many people have heard of 5G? Yeah, Wi-Fi 6? A few? It's fairly new. With 5G and Wi-Fi 6, there's a few things to know. And there's been a lot of confusion. In fact, I've talked to a lot of people about the technology over the past 6-7 months. And a lot of folks are waiting for 5G so they can just run their entire network on it. That sounds like a great idea. The reality is 5G is just not ready yet. In fact, in Canada, I don't think there's any area that can get it commercially outside of a test. So 5G is the next generation. If you notice on your cell phone, when you look at the signal, it'll say LTE or 3G. LTE is 4G, and then 5G is coming later. Right? Wi-Fi 6 is the next version of Wi-Fi that is available today. Now, the challenge with 5G is, like I said, it's really just the proliferation, the service providers putting it out there. The issue is the first use case for 5G is really going to be home and business internet. So anybody have like a cottage? Or I was just visiting a friend out near Guelph the other day, and they have to use ExplorerNet for their internet because they can't get Bell or Rogers. So they're getting really poor connectivity. Once the phone companies start doing 5G, they'll be able to get wireless to their house and then be able to do wireless inside the house. It's just another way of carrying the solution. But Wi-Fi 6 is happening now. In fact, about a month ago, everyone remember Apple released the iPhone 11. Once the iPhone 11 came out, they have Wi-Fi 6 in it. All of a sudden, it became kind of real, and it became very compelling. The challenge is there's not a lot of devices today, and in fact, I'll show that. Oh, sorry, that's the next one. There's not a lot of devices today, but they are coming. The reason that Wi-Fi is getting important is, I guess one of the questions I ask is, when's the last time anybody in the room plugged your computer into your network with a cable? Do you remember? The last time, I do it like once every 4 years when I get a new PC to connect it up and download the new image, right? Other than that, most people connect Wi-Fi like all the time. And why is this becoming important? Well, 4K, 8K video, cloud, as you've heard a lot about today, especially Office 365, IoT. And when we say IoT, it's really just the connectivity of new or different devices, non-standard devices on your network. So things like usually your network is phones, PCs, servers. Well, now there's cameras, there's sensors. I was working with one partner on a project where they wanted to IP enable their entire warehouse, and it was quite the project. And of course, then you've got AR and VR, which is kind of out there. I'm sure the futurists would have talked about that. With the Internet of Things, I don't know how many, I'm sure a lot of people are doing some type of project or thinking about it, but one of the challenges with doing Internet of Things over Wi-Fi is a lot of these sensors are very, very small, and they don't have a lot of room for batteries, right? So how do you keep these devices powered on and moving when you've just got a little device that maybe just has a little watch-type battery? You might have to replace that battery on a yearly basis. That just doesn't work, right? Thermostats, smart homes, smart buildings. The building Cisco is in is totally, everything is IP enabled, even the thermostats, even the switches, even the lights. So everything is connected back to the computer network, not only for power, but also for management. What is Wi-Fi 6 and what's the difference? Today we're using a technology called Wi-Fi 5. So it used to be we used something like 802.11ac, 802.11n, 802.11g. These technologies really don't resonate well with non-technical people. So they decided to make a change because Wi-Fi 6 really is 802.11ax, and now they're moving towards something that makes a lot more sense. Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 4. In fact, when you see the next device, when you get a Wi-Fi 6 device, if you have an iPhone 11 or Samsung 10, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of devices launched and announced at Computer Electronics Show in Vegas in January. This is the symbol you'll see on your device instead of just the little bars. It'll actually tell you what Wi-Fi version you're connected to, so you know. The number one benefit of moving to a Wi-Fi 6, or that Wi-Fi 6 is going to bring us as users, is battery life. That's probably the number one issue that most people have, especially with phones. And the issue with Wi-Fi is that Wi-Fi really, really degrades your battery life because the phone has to work so hard to stay connected. Okay? If that's when people ask me why would I even want to talk about Wi-Fi 6, what does it matter? Really what it comes down to is how can we give you better battery life, and something that really matters to the average user, right? Other than that, there are a lot of other benefits. Of course, it's faster, right? It's going to be better security. The one thing I like about it, and that I talk to a lot of the customers I talk to on a regular basis, is greater range and investment protection. So every Wi-Fi device that you install in your environment actually will support 30 to 40% more connections than the current technology, okay? Which is pretty good, because the challenge we're finding, and I'm an engineer and I'm an IT guy from the old days, but most people haven't really looked at their Wi-Fi environment or their Wi-Fi network probably for between 5 and 15 years. There's a lot of networks out there that have been running for a long time. The last time they looked at their Wi-Fi network and did a design was probably back when most people were plugging in with desktop computers, right? The average knowledge worker at most companies are carrying at least 2, maybe 3 devices, so they're taking up 2 to 3 IP addresses on your network, and that means 2 to 3 times more traffic, 2 to 3 times more devices on your Wi-Fi network. And as I said, the number one benefit, and my favorite, is power efficiency. So you get less demand on your battery. Batteries last longer, which obviously makes happier customers and happier employees. One of the things that we've done with Wi-Fi 6, there's a technology called OFDMA. Doesn't really matter what it stands for, it's just another technical acronym. But think about it as, if you have 4 lanes on the 401, imagine if we could put 4 lanes of traffic in one and have it run just as fast. So basically what we've done with this is, instead of having a lot of transport or pieces of information go over your Wi-Fi network with like little bits of information, what it does is intelligently kind of packs it all into a truck and sends it out that way. So that means you've got more information passing through the network, which means more and more devices, more and more packets, and more information can continue going over your network. There are a lot of clients, as I mentioned. If you've got a Samsung 10, a Samsung A50, or iPhone 11, you've already got Wi-Fi 6 today. Dell has some products. In fact, some of my engineers that I work with are actually buying the new Intel Wi-Fi 6 card and putting it into their notebook. But as I mentioned, in January for Consumer Electronics Show, we're going to see hundreds and hundreds, because pretty well every new device announced going forward will have Wi-Fi 6 built in. And things to consider when you're doing your Wi-Fi 6 upgrade. This is very similar to what my associate talked about on the security side, who is just up. There's a lot of patchwork going on. And what I'm finding, I used to be the manager for the SMB technology at Cisco. A lot of smaller companies and mid-sized companies have, we call it the blame it on Best Buy concept. Their IT guy would be, the IT guy is the boyfriend of the secretary. They'd call them in, they say, oh, we need to get some PCs, okay, go buy some. We need to increase our wireless network. He walks over to Best Buy or somewhere, buys a bunch of wireless devices, plugs it all in. No standard, no continuity, no security. And if somebody else has to come in, of course, this guy's gonna graduate one day and move on to a new job, who can come in and really support it, right? That's why something like QuadBridge can help you make sure that you're not building a network out of spare parts, and you're actually deploying something that works. So, if somebody called you as the IT people, or like your boss calls, and says, hey, I can't get on Wi-Fi in the office, what are you gonna do? There are multiple areas to check, multiple areas to look at. Is it the device? Is it the network? Is it the access points? Is it the software? There's many, many areas, and what we've done at Cisco, working with QuadBridge, because QuadBridge can actually manage your network for you, is we've built a technology that gives you a single look and feel, single pane of glass that you can see everything happening on your network. In fact, you can not only the hardware and not only the traffic, but you can actually see which software and which applications your users are actually using. And we saw there was one situation where we were looking at a demo, and Netflix had the highest capacity use on the network, which was probably not the best thing, right? One of the things we do at Cisco, which is a little different than some of the other vendors, is we actually manufacture our own chips, wireless chips and networking chips. I'm getting kind of technical on this, but what this tells you is that you're going to have a longer life of your technology. We're not dependent on third parties to buy components. So since we manufacture it, we can keep it going. Currently, we've got some customers that are upgrading networks that are 12 years old. Right? And now they're getting to the point, it's like, this just doesn't do it anymore. It's lacking the security, and they're looking for something to take them to the next 10 to 12 years. And that's why they're seriously considering Cisco. I'm sure there's people from various industries in the room. Retail, hospitality, I mean, you know your industry. There's a use case for everyone. One of my favorites is retail. I'm sure you've heard about a lot of the pop-up stores that are happening on Queen Street, right? In fact, one of the first projects I worked on about 4 years ago when I got into the wireless side was a restaurant chain who wanted to be able to do better guest Wi-Fi and also be able to give their store managers more access to the information, which they couldn't do with an old Linksys router in the corner, right? So they were looking to be able to offer connectivity anywhere, anytime, and do iPad ordering, and also have the guests connect at any time, so they could do loyalty programs and track people when they came and they went. And then what they would do is, if you usually came on a Tuesday, for example, and you hadn't come, but you always come on a Friday, they'll send you a coupon out for half off on your lunch or your dinner if you showed up on a Tuesday. No loss, because you don't usually come on Tuesdays anyway, right? Of course, education, manufacturing is big, with a lot of the manufacturing environments going like IoT, automation, and pretty well every device now is coming with a Wi-Fi chip built into it. In fact, my Wi-Fi 6 experience, I was lucky enough to get one of our, this is actually an access point, the white thing over here. One of the product managers sent me one of their brand new devices. Arrived at my office, took it home. I decided to set it up. From the time I opened the box to I actually had it working was 5 minutes. And I couldn't even believe how simple it was. And I haven't done that for a while. So, because of our single pane of glass management, everything's out in the cloud. You can connect, in fact, anywhere that this Wi-Fi device is connected, it will work and to your specs. And that's why I actually carried it around for some events where I can do demos. But very, very simple, 5 minute setup, it just basically works. So, you want to try it? QuadBridge can arrange for a no-risk demo for you guys. All you have to do is talk to your rep, tell them you want to try out Wi-Fi 6. They'll send you whatever devices are needed for your environment to try it out. They'll send it to you. You can use it for up to 90 days. If you don't return it after 90 days, you bought it. If you return it before 90 days, you don't want it, no problem. We take care of that for you. So contact your QuadBridge account manager, and they'll take care of everything for you. We have two families, depending on the size of your organization and the size of your IT department. We have our Meraki brands. Meraki brand is really designed for organizations that have what we call simple IT or very small IT department, or no IT department, if that's the case. And then we have our traditional Cisco enterprise products, which is the Catalyst brand, and those are for organizations that actually have an IT department to take care of it. There are benefits of both, but really QuadBridge and my team will help you decide what's best for you, if this is something you want to go to. But my advice, first thing is, once you get your first Wi-Fi 6 devices, let your QuadBridge rep know. They'll send you out a device. You can try it out in your environment for up to 89 days and see how it fits your business. So, some things to consider when you upgrade to Wi-Fi. When's the last time you plugged in? When's the last time you reviewed your wireless network? As I said, have you ever stayed in a hotel where the wireless was really, really slow, really bad? Because, what's that?
Or the Via Rail train this morning.
There you go. He said, a gentleman said on the Via Rail train this morning, well, there's a lot of reasons for that, because it's a satellite. But still, some of the hotels design their Wi-Fi network assuming 2 devices for every 3 rooms, right? If you're in a hotel today and you've got 2 kids, you're probably talking about 6 to 8 IP addresses, devices per room, right? And it's like, okay. In fact, one of the large hotel chains, if you come up and see me later, I can tell you who, they actually manage their 20,000 room network on our Meraki technology with 3 shifts of co-op students working out of their dorm. Something goes wrong, a manager in downtown Toronto calls and says, we can't get Wi-Fi on floor 6. They go, okay, we'll look into it. They access the dashboard. They do a couple of changes. If it's something they can't fix, what they'll do is they'll just increase the power on floor 4 and 6, 5 and 7, raise the power up, and then they'll just have another device shipped out the next day to be plugged in. And take care of that way. Oh, missed a couple. Another one is, do you want to manage your wireless network, or do you want QuadBridge to do it for you? They have a managed Wi-Fi service. Why not, right? I mean, pay for it as a utility. A utility model on a utility model just like you pay for internet. Another question I often ask customers who are looking at network changes or reviews is, how many devices will be on your network at the end of 2020? Do you have any idea? About 2% of all IT people can answer the question. But the people that can help you answer the question, maybe your sales manager, the president, the CEO, because are you looking at acquiring company? Are they hiring new people? Are you reducing staff? Because if you're going to move from, let's say you've got a 500 user company or a 100 user company, and from 100 you're going to go to 150 potential devices, that's a 50% increase in demand, right? All of a sudden employee productivity goes down, and potentially customer experience degrades too. Also, things like new applications, projects, moves, all of this can help. QuadBridge can come and help you out this with something called a site survey. They can analyze the network, determine where the hotspots are, where the access points should go, and they can help set that up for you and make sure your network is going to support you for 5 years, 10 years, and maybe even beyond. So, oh, we got that one. So don't be afraid to ask for help. QuadBridge can help you out. We can help you out. These are some pictures that some of our engineers have taken. Somebody wanted to put an access point outside without buying an access point. They put it in a we love this one. They put it in a Ziploc bag and taped it to the side of the building. It's like, it worked for a while, but I'm surprised that nobody stole it. So that's probably about a $500 item. I don't understand what they're doing here where they're putting 2. I guess that's for fault tolerance or redundancy, but whatever works, we can help you with that. QuadBridge has full backing of Cisco to make sure that we can design a network that's going to work for you and take you into the future. Okay. Here's my contact info if anyone would like to contact me and learn more, or just contact your QuadBridge rep. We'd love to come and see you and help you with your networking needs and make sure you've got something that'll take you into the future. Okay. That's it for today. Thank you.